Is it really safe enough? The thin potato chip rock. Yes! Hold this shot. As a solo creator, one of the biggest struggles I've always had is trying to capture everything without stepping out of the moment. I don't have a crew, I usually film myself, and I still want to share the experience as it really happened with you guys. And that's where the Insta360 X5 has been a game changer. It captures everything around you in full 360 degree, so you're free to be in the moment while still getting all the footage you need to tell the story later. I took this camera with me to San Diego to visit my brother and was able to capture some amazing memories, all while being fully present. Now, this video is not sponsored by Insta360, however, they did send me the X5, but no money exchanged hands. This is my honest experience using this camera. So in this video, I'll walk you through how it performed in real world situations, the upgrades from the X4, and whether it's worth getting. If you never used a 360 camera before, the coolest part is that it captures everything around you full 360 degree. And this means you never miss a moment, no matter where the action is happening. It's also super convenient if you want to capture behind the scenes without needing to set up extra cameras. The X5 is built for this kind of filming. You can just press record, stay in the moment, and then later reframe your footage however you want using the Insta360 app or studio software. Now, the X5 has a 1/1.28 inch sensor, which gives it a much better dynamic range. It handles bright highlights and deep shadows really well, something that's super helpful when shooting outdoors in changing lighting conditions. Now, one feature that stands out is the pure video mode. It works great in low light by reducing noise while keeping the details sharp. Now, one of the biggest upgrades on the X5, and it's a clear sign that Insta360 is listening to their audience, is that the lenses are now replaceable. Now, 360 cameras usually have exposed lenses that are easily to scratch, and while the X5's lenses are now twice as scratch resistant, accidents can still happen. The good news is that if one gets damaged, you don't have to send the whole camera in for repair like you did with the X4. Now you can just swap out the lenses yourself. It's quick and easy and way more affordable. And no, I'm not going to intentionally break my lenses like some creators do just to prove a point. And I honestly felt way more worry-free using the X5, knowing that even something happened, I could fix it easily. Now, InstaFrame is a really handy feature on the X5. It lets you record a flat MP4 and a full 360 degree video at the same time. That means you can quickly share content without having to reframe or export anything, while still keeping the 360 degree footage for later edits. The trade-off is that InstaFrame records the 360 degree video at 5.7K and 30 frames per second instead of the full 8K. If you look closely, you can notice a drop in detail, but honestly, for most cases, the 5.7K still looks great. Now, battery life is often a weak point in action cameras, but the X5 did really well for me. It lasted a full day on my trip, and I was only using one battery. Of course, you're not filming non-stop with a 360 camera. You really just capture the moments that matter, or when something exciting happens, like this rattlesnake we discovered. Wow.
He's okay.
Like,
never mind.
Goodbye.
Like, I'm afraid.
Even during longer vlogs, it worked great. I was filming around San Diego and the weather was hot, sometimes up to 25 degrees, but I didn't experience any overheating at all. One feature I really appreciate was the fast charging. The X5 charges up to 80% in just 20 minutes, which saved me a couple of times when I forgot to top it up before heading out. If you're wondering what settings I use, here's my go-to setup. For most vlogging, I stick to auto mode with a few small tweaks. I shoot in 8K at 25 frames per second for real-time footage and switch to 5.7K at 60 frames per second when I want smooth slow motion. I used the standard picture profile because it gives a natural look that doesn't need much color grade. I usually set the exposure to -0.3 or -0.7 to protect the highlights, especially in bright outdoor scenes. Both white balance and exposure are set to auto, which works great when moving between different lighting conditions. I also didn't experience dramatic color shifts when setting the white balance to auto. I also shoot in H.265 with a high bitrate and medium sharpness to keep the file size manageable without losing quality. Now these settings worked really well for me throughout the trip and made it easy to capture everything on the go without thinking about the camera settings. Before we jump into the audio section, I want to take a moment to thank our sponsor of today's video, Motionary. Motionary is an all-in-one platform made for creators like us. You get access to a huge library of royalty-free music, sound effects, video templates, motion graphics, stock footage, and even customizable titles. It's one of my favorite tools as a content creator because it saves me so much time and helps my videos look and sound way more polished. For example, this title animation you saw earlier in the video, I downloaded that directly from Motionary and dropped it into my timeline in seconds. No extra setup or design needed. From here on, I changed the title, centered it, and also changed the background color to yellow. And just like that, here's the final result. Whether I'm editing a travel vlog, adding energy to my 360 videos, or just looking for subtle background music, Motionary has something that fits every style. And the best part, if you want to try it out, you can get 2 extra months free by just using the link in the video description below. With that said, big thanks to Motionary for sponsoring this video. Let's now get back. Audio is often overlooked, but it's super important, especially if you want to vlog on the go or use the X5 as your main content creation camera. The X5 now has a built-in wind guard with 2 levels, weak and strong, which you can choose in the settings depending on how windy it is. I was actually surprised at how well it worked, keeping the audio clear even in breezy conditions. So we made it to the Three Sisters Falls and it's quite windy up here, and I want to test the wind reduction. So right now I'm using voice enhancement, but let's now switch over to the wind reduction set to strong. Wind noise reduction is now enabled, and this is how it sounds like. Probably a huge difference to the previous voice setting, so this is how it sounds like. If it's not windy, you can also turn on the voice enhancement mode, which prioritizes your voice for a cleaner, more focused sound. And I'm now using the internal mic on the Insta360 X5 using voice enhancement. So this way you can see how the audio quality sounds like. There's also not much wind up here. It will probably sound pretty good. Insta360 also recently introduced the Insta360 Mic Air Transmitter, which connects seamlessly to the X5 for wireless audio. Now, I didn't have it with me at that time, but it's great to see built-in support for wireless mics now. Now, for the trip, I used the Boya Mini and it worked flawlessly. It's compact, stays out of the frame, and delivers clean hands-free audio. So this time I'm using the Boya Mic Mini. I've connected the receiver to the Insta360 X5, and what I really like about this tiny wireless mic is that the receiver is so small that it doesn't show up in the frame. And you can also see that I have the transmitter attached to my sling bag right over here. Now, the great part about using a wireless mic is that I can be further away from the camera and still capture clean audio quality. The X5 has an IP68 waterproof rating, which means it's safe up to 15 meters without a case and up to 60 meters with one. Now, this was perfect for the trip since I was always around water. I wouldn't have been able to capture those moments if the camera wasn't waterproof. When it came to getting creative shots, I had a few accessories with me that really opened up new creative possibilities. One of my favorites was the POV mount, a mouthpiece that let me film from a first-person perspective while keeping my hands free. I also used the 3-meter invisible selfie stick, which allowed me to capture wide dynamic angles, which looked really cool on the boat or when I wanted to get shots from further away or hard to reach places. For static shots and time lapses, I brought a mini tripod that I screwed onto the 1.5-meter invisible stick. It worked great for filming my surroundings without having to hold the camera. Another small but clever feature I loved while vlogging was the twist to record function. Instead of fumbling for the record button, you just twist the X5 twice and it instantly starts or stops recording. So is the Insta360 X5 worth it? For me, absolutely, it solves one of the biggest challenges I face as a solo creator, being able to stay present while still capturing everything I want to remember and share. The X5 definitely has its place, especially for when I'm traveling and want to document meaningful moments without constantly thinking about framing or gear. I was able to enjoy the experience and then later look back at all of the footage and relive it. And that alone makes it incredibly valuable, not just for content creators, but for personal memories too. If you already own the X4, I'd say the X4 is still a solid camera. The jump in video quality isn't dramatic, but if you value the upgrades such as InstaFrame for quick social media sharing, better heat control, and extended battery life, then the X5 could be a worthwhile upgrade. If you don't yet own a 360 camera, the X5 is a fantastic place to start. Now let me know in the comments below, would you use the Insta360 X5 for your videos? I would love to hear your thoughts. Other than that, thank you so much for sticking around. Take care and see you in the next video.